Welcome back to Magoo's Reviews. All right, y'all. So this is my review. Well, my spoilers review for the Michael Jackson biopic that dropped. It's called Michael. This is again my spoilers review. So if you have not seen the movie, please go check out this film. Go check out this movie, then come check out my review. We're gonna get in depth. We're really gonna talk about a lot of things. And yeah, man, let's get started. Anyway, before we get into the review, we just passed 1,000 subscribers. We're on the road to 10,000. We're going to hit 100,000. We're going to be in a million. We're going to claim it will happen. So please don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to the channel. Definitely hit the like button at the bottom. Really do appreciate you guys. Let's get to 2,000 first. All right, y'all. So the Michael biography movie is finally here. This is one of my most anticipated movies of the year. And I can say this straight out the gate, man. I'm very well pleased with this movie. This movie, man, I put it like this. This is one of the best theater experiences I had in a long time. When I say theater experiences, I mean being in a theater with a bunch of people, everybody sitting down, people dancing during the movie and after the movie while the credits were rolling, people getting up, dancing, taking pictures with each other. This was one of the best theater experiences I've had in a very long time, extremely long time. A lot of the movies that I've seen lately still been fun and cool, but and it was predominantly us. It was a lot of black people. So for those who know, you know how we are. We go to movies. We be cutting up a lot of times. But for something like this, for Michael, man, it was a great experience. It was an absolute great experience. Fantastic, man. So just getting right into like the story, and I'm gonna get into the good and the bad, right? As far as the story, it's pretty much the story that we know of Michael. Now, I put it like this. It starts at the Jackson era, Gary, Indiana, and it stops at the bad era, right? The beginning of the bad era. So it doesn't continue on to dangerous and so on and so forth. That's like a part two. And I'm gonna get into that later on. But it starts from pretty much Gary, Indiana. You see them going from, of course, Gary, Indiana, doing the local shows to Motown. That is one, I will get into one of the critiques I will say of the movie. One of the critiques I would definitely say of the movie is the pacing in the beginning. The beginning really felt like we're going here, we're going here, we're going here. But the same time, man, in those moments, man, the cast was fantastic. The setting, the cinematography, everything about this movie was grade A. It was A1. Antoine Fuqua, I always butcher his last name. He directed Training Day, so he's the director of this movie, man. Knocked it out the park. Absolutely knocked it out the park. The cast is amazing, man. So the little boy plays Michael at first. Juliano Valdi, young Michael Jackson, Jackson 5. Oh my gosh, he killed it, bro. He knocked it out the park, man. That little boy should be up for some Oscars. Real talk. Like, he knocked it out the park. Coleman Domingo is Joe Jackson. You want to talk about a transformation? There was all great performances from the whole cast and crew, but Coleman Domingo is Joe Jackson. The way how he walked, kind of how Joe kind of hunched over, you know what I'm saying? How his tone, the makeup on looked fantastic like Joe Jackson. Absolutely like Joe Jackson, in my personal opinion. Nia Long, she transformed into Katherine Jackson. Just, how Katherine has like those real subtle, man, those real sweet moments, man. She really embodied Katherine Jackson in that. Absolutely beautiful, man. Beautiful, man. The whole cast, from Tito to Marlon to Jackie to Jermaine. And that's another thing I'm going to get into as well, is that they all embody the Jacksons and everything. Lorenz Tate played Berry Gordy. Fantastic. She was in this movie as well. She played, who did her play? It's on the tip of my tongue, and I know exactly who it is. Yep, Suzanne DePassy. Yep, her played her. Her played her. But she did a great job, man. Absolutely fantastic. So that is one of the things I will say as far as a critique. You do in the beginning, it kind of jumps from, all right, we're here in 66, we're here in 68, we're here in 70. Now, it is one thing, again, this is a spoilers review. Like I said, if you know the Michael Jackson story, there's nothing too much to spoil, you know what I mean? But at the same time, they did talk about, like, hey, Mike, Berry Gordy did say, like, hey, if they ask you, he said, hey, Mike, how old are you? He's like, I'm 10. He's like, all right, when they ask you if you're 10, go tell them you 8. He says, you can do anything in this industry, so tell them you're 8 years old. So he's like, okay. So that is something they did go off, but that's one thing too, like the Jackson 5 were megastars, man. Like my father, my uncles, my aunt, you know what I mean? My whole family, like say they grew up on the Jacksons and stuff like that. And my father told me, says when the Jacksons, when he was a kid, man, the Jackson 5 had a cartoon show. You know how big you had to be to have a cartoon show? And I don't know, many musicians, like I know MC Hammer had a cartoon show at one point. I know Kid and Play had a cartoon show, but the Jackson 5 had a cartoon show. And I'm gonna say Muhammad Ali did as well. So that was a really big thing, how big, it showed how big they were as megastars. Like they couldn't go anywhere, man. So that was absolutely great. Seeing the Jacksons, you know what I'm saying, at their mega. And then when it transitions to Mike, teenage adult years, man, Jafar Jackson, bro. Jafar Jackson stole a show of this movie, bro. Jafar Jackson, as soon as you see him on the screen as Michael Jackson, the crowd gasped because they were like, oh my gosh, like that's Michael. The way he talked, his mannerisms, even how he would move his glasses, Jafar Jackson transformed into his uncle. Nothing but praise for Jafar Jackson. He should be nominated for an Oscar for this movie, in my personal opinion. Now, that's something I'm going to get into with the critics and all that kind of stuff, because I've seen their reviews on mainly Rotten Tomatoes, because IMDb and Letterboxd are completely different scores. But yeah, we're going to get into the critics. But at the same time, I would love for Jafar Jackson to be nominated for Michael Jackson. I absolutely would love it. Now, we're going to get into it later, but at the same time, it does, you kind of see the off the wall process. You see off the wall. Oh, and shouts out to the guy who played Quincy Jones as well. I got him up, Kendrick Sampson. Kendrick Quincy Jones. He was great too. He was absolutely great too. He was fantastic, man. So you do see the off the wall era, how Michael and Quincy were sitting down in the studio together making the music. And that's one thing, man. The music in this film, because I saw it in IMAX, there were certain points like it was bumping, like you could feel the bass and everything. Absolutely fantastic, man. So that was really cool seeing them, together. And at the same time, man, you have those moments of Michael. You see him. There was a funny moment in the beginning. Again, this is a spoilers review when he's reading Peter Pan under his sheets. And he asks Peter, he's looking at Peter, and Peter's kicking like Captain Hook into the water to the alligator, and it has Joseph written next to Captain. Because Michael and Joseph, like, there's even interviews of Michael talking. He's like, man, I couldn't stand it, man. He's like, he's like, there were times I hated him. You know what I mean? Like, because remember, Joe Jackson is the Jackson's biological father. All of them, from Rudy to Ruby, saying Jackie, all of them. Like, that's their biological father. But they called him Joseph. You don't say they didn't call him that. They called him Joseph. Like, they say, yeah, it was always Joseph. So he's like, he hated that. Michael said he hated that. And you do see, the discipline and all that kind of stuff. Now, it really wasn't as bad, but at the same time, you do see him get whooped and all that kind of stuff. But yeah, man. But again, going right back to the fact, off the wall era, man, fantastic way. We're saying don't stop till you get enough. All them great, fantastic songs, man. Then, like I said, it transitions smoothly as it gets to like to the Jafar part. It kind of takes its time. The pacing slows down a little bit. Thriller, man. Thriller was fantastic. Seeing the process of Beat It. He actually had Crips and Bloods in the studio because he saw something on the the news station that impacted him. Seeing how the gangs was out there in LA and how they were going at each other, and like that inspired him. You know what I'm saying? To like bring people together. Also, Thriller, like the process of seeing Thriller, the dance, man, Thriller's amazing, bro. Still to this day, one of the greatest music videos of all time, hands down, man. Of course, Billie Jean, you see the Motown 25, that performance when he does Billie Jean, absolutely fantastic, man. But you see Michael literally trying to get away, like, I'm trying to go solo, man. I love my brothers, but I'm trying to do solo. But Joe is like, nah, we're going to do this. We're going to do this victory, because you do see Joe talking to Don King. You all know Don King, one of the boxing promoters, legendary boxing promoter, and all that kind of stuff. But Joe and Don King are making a discussion like, hey, man, I'm doing this victory tour. Don King, is Michael going to be there? Because if Michael ain't there, there ain't no tour. He's like, no, Michael going to be there. Now, here's the crazy thing. All these years, man, I did not know. And let me look this up as well. I did not know that Michael Jackson was still living at home with his family while he had Off the Wall, while he had Thriller, man. He was still at home. Thriller, the biggest selling album in the world, 1980. He was still at home with his family. So when he's doing Thriller, man, he's telling his dad, no, you're not my manager no more. He's going upstairs to his room. And so when Joe, and like when they did the Victory Tour, he came and said, hey, you're doing this tour. He was sitting in the room like, you're doing this. You know what I mean? And like, you could tell Michael was frustrated and stuff. Like, he just wanted to break away from his father. He wanted to break away and do his thing solo. Even though as much as he loved his brothers. So, of course, that transitions to the Pepsi. We all know what happened with the Pepsi incident where it burned his skin, the top of his hair, 30-degree burns and all that kind of stuff. Shows all that, man. Shows all that kind of stuff. You know how we are in the theater, like, oh, child, I can't believe everybody loud in the theater when it happens. But, like, no, we know what's happening, you know what I'm saying? Because we know the Michael Jackson story. But still, man, they did a great job, man. Jafar Jackson did a fantastic job. And even in that scene, like, you see LaToya, Jackie, Jermaine, all of them, you know what I'm saying? Well, not all of them, but Jackie, Jermaine, Tito, Marlon, and LaToya. And that was another thing I will say is that not all the siblings were in here. I don't think Ruby was in here. Janet said she didn't want to be a part of the movie. She didn't want her character to be in this movie. And now that I don't remember Randy. I don't remember seeing Randy here. So 3 of the other siblings weren't in this movie. Now I don't know if they didn't want anything to do with it, but I do remember it saying like Jackie, Jermaine, and I would say Marlon were like producers of the film. You know what I'm saying? But she didn't want nothing to do with the movie. So Janet was not in this, and I didn't see Randy or Ruby. So yeah, man. But I did see LaToya. There was a really sweet moment between him and LaToya because him and LaToya were close. Of course, he was close to Janet, but they didn't show that. He was close to all his siblings, man. There was a funny moment when he comes up. He see Michael in the store, the kids' store, getting toys and stuff. He comes to the house. His brother's playing basketball outside. He's like, hey, y'all, I got Twister. They're like, Mike, we ain't trying to play Twister, man. He was like, all right, man, y'all ain't no fun, man. But it was a cool moment, man. It was cool. Like, I really do love the Jackson family, man. Like, the generations, man, generational, like from like the 60s all the way up, man, to the day. Like the Jacksons are absolutely a generational family. So, man, fantastic job, man. The whole cast is fantastic. And like I said, you see the victory tour, and at that point, Mike lets the whole, and his brothers didn't know that he was doing this, but he's like, yo, this is like our farewell tour. He said, yo, I'm done. I'm breaking away. You know, and Joseph at the end, Mike, you going to, and Mike's bodyguard's like, nah, man, this is it. Mike's done. And then it transitions into the bad era, which was fantastic because they teased it in the beginning and they bring it back. Oh man, absolutely great. Absolutely, I love this film. I absolutely love this film. So now as far as getting into like because I have more pros than cons. Like I said, I think the pacing in the beginning was a little fast, but it did slow down. But as far as the critics on Rotten Tomatoes are definitely dogging this movie. Like somebody said, they love Leaving Neverland, that documentary which came out. The fans was like, nah, they lied on some stuff and all that kind of. They loved that, and the fans hated it, but they hated this, and the fans love this. So, and here's the thing, man, this movie's gonna make a lot of money. This worldwide right now, it's tracking to make over $200 million. Excuse me. And right now it's supposed to make between 95 to 100 million. I think it's going to cross that 100 million mark. And I think it's going to have good legs, especially for next week. I think this is definitely going to be number one next week again as well, man. This was a very good movie, man. I absolutely did enjoy it. And like I said, I'll put it like this. It's not bare bones as far as the story, but it's a story that we all know. Like I said, it starts at the bad era. So the critics were like, oh, it's kind of whitewashing the allegations of Michael Jackson that we all know, which was, the PDF allegations that came out in like 93. I remember I was little when it happened, but I remember it stuff too. The whole allegations, the whole wacko jacko, when they would call him that kind of stuff in the magazines. So they didn't focus on none of that, but they said, I guess, how the movie does financially, they will go into a part two, which, this is going to do good financially. It's going to do very good. I want to see where it does final, but I think there's definitely going to be a part two to this, but this was very good. The CGI on Bubbles did look a little wonky when Bubbles, that was a funny moment. When Bubbles came out, it was like LaToya, Catherine, I would say it was Tito and Marlon and Joe. They all came outside like, yo, what you got? And it was a monkey. They were like, yo, you serious? But it was funny, man. Like, it was a really cool moment. The girl played LaToya. She was great too. Like I said, I enjoyed the movie, man. I enjoyed it. Like I said, I love the Jacksons, man. I grew up on Michael Jackson. When Michael Jackson died, I said it here before on my channel, man. I cried, dog. I remember exactly where I was going. I was like, why are they playing Mike so much on the radio? And then as soon as I got out of the car, I remember them announcing, yo, Michael Jackson, Pat. I cried like I lost a family member, dog. Like, you know how you run away and you start bawling? It was like that. Like, I was like, Michael Jackson, the greatest artist of all time, musician of all time. Like, hands down, man. Hands down. Like, I love Michael Jackson, man. There was also a really cool Prince joke in here. A very cool Prince joke that I love, because I love Michael and Prince, man. A very cool Prince joke that paid homage and respect to Prince, but at the same time, it was funny. That I really did like, man. So, yeah, man, great. Now, I will say this. It isn't as in-depth as the Jackson, the American Dream. If you guys remember that came out like in the early 90s with Angela Bassett was in that. Who I got the cast up right here. Angela Bassett was in that. Lawrence Hilton Jacobs played Joseph Jackson. Jason Weaver played the young Michael Jackson. Vanessa Williams, Billy D. Williams, Berry Gordy. That had a big cast as well. So it's not as in-depth as that one because that one is a TV movie. So you got more time to do more things. This was a 2-hour film. Before a 2-hour film, they did a great job in my personal opinion. Man, for the Michael movie, man, hey, man, I loved it, man. I can't even give it a rating right now. Like 9 out of 10, bro. 9 out of 10. 9 out of 10. Is that me being biased? So what? No, I'm playing. 9 out of 10 because I really did enjoy it, man. Like I said, this is Magoo's review, so this is my review. Now I know I'm close to 15 minutes on this video, but absolutely, I enjoyed this very, very much, man. Like I said, it's supposed to make money. I think there will be a part two. The cast was great. Oh, Mike Myers, he was also in here as well. Mike Myers did a great job. Miles Teller, he did a great job as well. Yeah, man. Everybody, man. The whole acting, cinema, it was great, man. I really did like this Michael movie a whole lot, and I'm definitely going to go see it again. Anyway, please don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to the channel. If you guys have seen the Michael movie, in the comment section, I want to hear your favorite scene. What was your favorite moment? Again, like I said, Jafar Jackson, he transformed into his uncle, man. Just the way he moved, even when he was dancing, he was singing, like those moments when like him and Joe were talking, he's kind of looking away at Joe, like he can't make eye contact with him. He just great, man. Absolutely fantastic, man. Definitely go check out this movie, man. Fantastic. Anyway, please don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to the channel. Hope everybody has a blessed day. I'll see y'all soon. Have a good one.